Okay, this is going to be a group photos video, but it's going to be different from the ones I've done in the past. The ones I've done in the past are a little bit more static. They're short, but the shots are static, and to be honest, I just sort of got bored with that format and I wanted to try something different. Now that fellow there has a nice hat, and I'm going to get it one day. I thought this might be a little bit more interesting as sort of a documentary about what I do when I want to make one of these videos and how I go about it. The first thing is rounding up the horses. Well, the first thing is actually to have an idea about the theme. Black horses, white horses, war horses, whatever. Today's theme is Pintos. And so I needed to round up these Pintos, and the last one I needed was this Chestnut Pinto Kentucky Saddler, and I knew where to go and get it. So that's the first step, really, is getting all the horses together. And I just stole him. Got away with it, too. It doesn't look like anybody really cares. And then I try to use the cinematic footage a little bit to sort of tell a story. But it's not just the story, it's that the cinematic footage, the game automatically puts cuts in there and puts different shots together. And you can easily use those cut lines to cut the video yourself and stick different ones together. So you can have the horses progressively get to a different place, and it sort of like tells a story of the horse moving from Saint Denis to this area, which is near Emerald Ranch. And I chose this area because it's very lush and green, and it looks like a horse's paradise to me. I mean, look at all that grass. If I were a horse, I would like hanging out here. And then the next step is just to get them all looking good, you know, give them all a brush so they're shiny. And that can burn up a few minutes. And one consideration while I'm doing all this is the time this is taking, because a day in Red Dead Redemption lasts 48 minutes, but obviously some of that is nighttime. So you want the good light to make a nice picture so that the light's directly on their coats, so it illuminates them very well and they aren't in shadow. And then you have to think about which way the sun is pointing, and I just look at the shadows of the horse, obviously, for that. But another thing that can sort of foil what I'm trying to do is the weather. It seems like anytime the game knows you're up to something in a region, it will make it rain just to make you suffer, and I hate that. I love these little mini cutscenes when he takes off the saddle, because they allow you to make a nice little cut to the next thing. And that's this, and that's a full shot of all three horses side by side. They look really nice together. And in case you don't know which horses these are, that's the Mahogany Bay Tennessee Walker. You should know that one because you start the game with it. And I'm going to do a nice dynamic pan shot. This is normally where I would cut from, right here. I would just include this shot. And this here is the Overo American Paint. Very pretty horse, I think. It's a little bit short. It's got those stubby little legs, so. And this is the Chestnut Pinto Kentucky Saddler. I don't really like the color of its coat, but I think alongside these other two Pintos, it looks quite nice. And it used to be I would just do static shots. I wouldn't move at all. And then I got into more of these dynamic pans, and I thought that was better. But even so, I'm a little bit bored with that. I like to show at least the names of the horses. Sometimes I'll include the stats, sometimes not. The American Paint has the same sort of health and stamina as the Tennessee Walker, but it has one extra bar of speed. It has blue eyes too. And the Kentucky Saddler has, well, this one I just started bonding, so it's still at level 1, so you don't get to see all the stats, but it has the lowest stamina of the game. Okay. And then usually the next thing I do, I like to get that shot. That's the most important shot, seeing all the horses full, but then I like to put them on like this so you can see all their faces together. And that can be tricky sometimes, because when you get one horse close to another one, if it touches the other horse will move. And it can be quite a little nut roll to get all these horses lined up sometimes. Some of the horses have a lot of personality, and they like to move around. And yeah, I like to see them from different angles, see the different patterns. These Pintos have really interesting coats. They're some of the nicest horses to ride around in the game because of that, just because of that interesting coat they have. It breaks up the monotony a little bit. And as you can see, the American Paint is the shortest of these horses. It's a small horse. The Tennessee Walker is just a little bit bigger. It's I would call it a medium-sized horse. And this is where I start messing around with them, trying to get a still shot for the thumbnail. And it's really hard. They're like little kids. Sometimes they'll have their eyes closed or they do things with their head. I just want it with all their heads lined up together like this. And it can take quite a while to get that shot because, like I said, they're always twitching. Their ears might be laid back, or they might be gnashing their teeth or whatever. And so I just use photo mode. And you can spend a long time messing around with photo mode, getting different. You can use the different filters and everything. This is a simple thumbnail, so I'm just using a regular shot. But yeah, this is something you can. This is also the superior way to get a photo. If you're using the game camera, like the Arthur has in the weapon wheel to get a photo, this is the better way right here. Because when you get the photo like you like it, you press triangle to make the HUD disappear, and then you can save that photo directly to your console and get it out of the console and put it in your computer or your phone.
Okay, boy.
Right? And then we get the little cut scene with the saddle again, which allows you to make a nice J cut. And then you can just jump right to the next thing you're wanting. And this is the problem with 3 horses. Like, one of them doesn't want to follow me now, and that's the American Paint. So what you do in that situation, first you get on the horse with the saddle, and you whistle for the other horses. The horse that does not want to follow you, you get on him and ride him. Now I'm going to whistle for the other horses, and they will both follow me because the saddle horse has to, because that's your official horse. And the other horse was already following you, and it will just continue to do that. But you can lose the third horse. It's totally possible to lose that horse, so you need to keep your eye on them. And then I'll use a little bit more cinematic footage to sort of tell the story of going across the heartlands here. And you get things that happen sometimes while you're in cinema mode like that with the wagon. That messes it up. Not just the noise, but you see what that Kentucky Saddler is doing? He got confused by that wagon. And if I had kept going, that Kentucky Saddler would have disappeared. All right, so I have to get him following me again. And you just always have to be aware of that when you're running around with 3 horses. It's tricky because the game only allows you one official secondary horse. The other one is just sort of supplemental, and you have to constantly maintain that status with it. And then I like to use the cinema mode too because it gives you these nice drone shots, like from different angles. You get to see the all 3 of the horses. I like these sort of shots here when you see that and the other horses enter the shot with it. That's kind of cool. What I don't like is sometimes the game just changes the shot, so you have to keep pressing down on the joystick to try to get the shot you want. And not always easy. So I just had to stop to make sure I still had my horses because of the wagon. And here we go. I'm just trying to show that we're going towards Horseshoe Overlook. And that's a nice shot. I like seeing the horses run off into the distance. Then I'll just jump ahead to this little point, and we're going into Horseshoe Overlook here. In a Horseshoe Overlook, I'm going to use the horse station to get rid of one of these horses because I have another Pinto I want to put in the shot. And you can have 3 horses here and 3 horses in the stable, and if I wanted to right now, I could put all 3 of these horses into the stable and get the 3 horses I have in the stable out. And that's just by using the horse station. The horse station is right here. That costs you $300, I think, at the ledger. But see, I have 3 horses here in the stable, and I could get all of them out right now if I wanted to, just by taking the saddle and putting it on the horse that I want to put into the stable and selecting the horse that I want to get out. I have a little video on this I did showing how to do this. But right now I want to get rid of the Kentucky Saddler, so I'm going to saddle him up, and I'll run back over here to the horse station, and I will choose the horse called Lollipop, because Lollipop is a Pinto as well. And if I wanted to, I could have swapped these other two horses out as well, but I want them in the shot. I think these are the three prettiest Pintos in the game. And again, I have this trouble. I whistled. The American Paint doesn't want to come, so I'm going to mount the American Paint.
Let's go, girl.
And then I will whistle for the other horses, and they will follow me. Now that Tennessee Walker's a little bit agitated. I saw that already. I might have to deal with that once we get where we're going. And you can lose your horse. I've already mentioned that, but I just want to reiterate that. It doesn't matter that the third horse is a Missouri Fox Trotter or an Arabian or a Turcoman. It's possible to lose it doing this right here, and you won't get it back. All right, so always make a save beforehand, before doing something like this, right? But always keep your eye on your third horse, the one without the saddle. Now this right here is something that really annoys me, these notifications when you're running out of time and you're trying to get a nice shot, and the notification pops up there, and you just know when the game devs were having meetings to try to figure out how long to leave these notifications up there. There was always some person in the back of the room that was raising their hands like, I think that notification should be up there for an hour. You know, that's how it seems anyway. All right, so this Tennessee Walker's agitated. If you encounter predators or enemy or something else gets this horse agitated, it will eventually run away. And it's like I said, you won't get it back. So you need to get this under control. So I'm going to give him some food, and hopefully he'll calm down. Because I don't want to lose this horse. If I have to lose one of the horses, I want to lose this American Paint. All right. He seems okay. So I'm going to try to get these horses lined up now.
Easy now.
Make a nice little cut. Oh, Jesus. And they're willful. Like, I'm not sure what happened there, but that Tennessee Walker moved from where I put him. And the Missouri Fox Trotter can be a little bit of a diva. It might have been the cactus. I don't know. The horses don't like the cactus for some reason. All right, here we go. Oh, God. No, she's going to be a diva. Well, we'll just let her do it. And the sun is going down, so I'm losing my light. There we go. Get a nice first-person view. And I have a yucca plant in the foreground that I'm not liking. We'll just have to live with it. So, 3 very pretty horses. The Fox Trotter is arguably the most beautiful horse in the game. Very pretty patterns, very interesting. It's got that dappled coat as well. And there's a wagon to photobomb the shot. Alright, so let's get a look at the sky now. Oh, that's beautiful. Really pastel sky. It just looks like it goes on forever with Flatiron Lake in the background. Yeah, that's nice. Let's see what else we got over here. Oh, that's nice too. The sun behind the mountains. Nice little sort of orange, pink hue to everything. And I'm going to try to quickly get one more shot with them all facing the same way. Yeah, that's so beautiful over there. Have to hurry.
Whoa, easy.
Right. So you see how the color is changing from left to right because the terminator line of the sun going down. That's really beautiful. Can't see so much of the horses anymore, but get a nice angle on them so you can see the patterns. Yeah, that's nice. Love the sunsets in this game. Love the horses in the game too. And this is why I do this. It's just beautiful. I mean, all three of these horses together and the sunset. Yeah, it's nice. And usually, like I said, my group photo videos are short, usually about 2 minutes or so, and the shots were kind of static. When I first started making them, I would just have static shots that didn't move, and then I kind of switched to making moving pan shots, from one place to another, so it'd be a little bit more dynamic on the screen and a little bit more interesting, I guess, visually interesting. But even with that, I sort of just eventually got bored with all that. There's still a lot of group photos I'd like to make, but I just want to do different things with it. This time I thought it might be interesting just to see the process I go through with this. The worst one I ever had, I had 3 game days. It took me 3 game days to get the shots I wanted. Because, the weather can act up, the bounty hunters can act up, the terrain can act up, sometimes surprisingly. The horses can act up. And yeah. But these horses were the stars today because they didn't really act up so much. They didn't give me any shit. And I got some nice footage of them.
Here you go, girl. Let's go, boy.
Now let's see which one of these is going to give me trouble. It's that paint again. He doesn't want to follow. I think the paint's the one I'm going to get rid of after this. But at this point, I'm just going to go back and make sure the horses I want to keep are put back in the stable. And I'll get rid of the horses I'm not going to keep. And yeah, think up the next photo shoot after this. So if you stuck with me to this point, I appreciate that. I appreciate the views. And I don't know. This is just something different. I hope this was at least mildly interesting or entertaining. And yeah, that's the process I go through when I make one of these videos. So, till next time, thanks for watching.